here who can tell us all about the political implications of that. It's Bill Hemmer, co-host of America's Newsroom.
Hey,
Bill,
guys.
you watched the president's brief remarks there. I found it interesting, Bill. He said, we and us, we get what we deserve, what we've been fighting for, clearly identifying with these workers. He says he's a union president. But of course, yesterday when KJP was pressed on that, she didn't want to go that far. Yeah, because there are other folks involved here. What difference does this make that he's doing the we thing? Right?
Well, I think in a political sense, if you think about the state of Michigan in 2024, if indeed you've got a Biden-Trump face-off, we just went back and crunched the numbers from 2016. You had about 5 million people vote. Trump won the state by 0.3 percentage points, a total of 11,600 votes. Biden won it in 2020 by 154,000 votes. It was still very close. My sense is, Trump announced that he was going to Michigan first, and he wanted to do it coincide with our debate tomorrow night on Fox Business. And then Biden came the next day on Friday and said that he will go and he'll beat him by a day. Why is this important? I think it's important because I see why Biden's there. He wants to tell them that he's got their back. But in all likelihood, Trump's speech tomorrow night, my sense is most people will be watching this debate. But I think the union workers and a lot of people in Michigan will be paying attention to Trump's message. Yeah. Right. And I would bet that Trump's going to blow a hole in the Inflation Reduction Act and talk about how, your jobs are now going to electric vehicle plants. And, if you don't stop it now and get what you want, he tipped his hand last week when he said, stand strong, because if you don't, all your jobs are going to China eventually. And I would anticipate a similar message tomorrow night. Ironically, this debate is at the Reagan Library. And where were the Reagan Democrats born in 1980? Detroit, Michigan. Yeah. Right? Macomb County, Wayne County, where President Biden is right now. And so just watch that. In 1980, Ronald Reagan got 66% of the vote in Macomb County, Michigan. That's where the Reagan Democrats were born, and that's where he built his coalition for the next 8 years after.
I agree with you. While much of the country will be watching the debate, people care about the issues that are close to home for them. And right now, these people that are striking, they're worried about their future. There's a lot of uncertainty for them. 40% of their jobs are going to be cut by this president and his green agenda. So it's hard for me to watch these pictures, as hard, I'm sure, as it is for them to stand there with him. Of course, he's there now. They didn't want him to come, but they're acting polite because he's the president of the United States. In one breath, he's killing their jobs. In the other, he's saying, I'm standing here with you, and it's all the evil corporations. Oh, by the way, what he's not saying is the evil corporations are the ones that I threw subsidies at to get them in the green energy game to further along my agenda. I mean, at some point, these people have to see through his lies.
My guess is on that, Jackie, is that the majority, and it might just be 51%, but the majority of the people there walking the line are going to support what Joe Biden says. But I'm telling you that on Wednesday night, these picketers are going to listen to Donald Trump's message, and we'll see how that lands.
Well, he's just to kind of go deeper on that. Trump's going to be at a parts distribution center, I do believe. And there you're talking about maybe a different constituency. So for every one UAW Big Three job, you've got like a ratio of 5 who are suppliers and dealers. And so I wonder if his message actually is going at that larger group and saying, there's a bigger thing here, folks. All of you depend on this. This is bigger, actually, than the UAW.
I grew up in the Midwest in Ohio, and although the bigger auto plants are in Michigan, there's several in Ohio, and in Indiana, and you can just see where so many other businesses, to your point, Brian, they feed into the auto industry. It's not just the plant itself, it's everybody else that supplies the parts along the way, and they're affected by this as well.
You know,
who votes?
He's also not addressing what they're complaining about partially, obviously, is their employment situation, but they're also complaining about inflation, which has taken a toll on people in the last 2.5 years since he's been president. And they're saying that, part of the issue why we're asking for raises is because we're struggling to put food on the table. We're struggling to pay the electric bill.
Yeah, I think what the union's asking for a 39% raise on I think the car companies are at around 20-21% right now. So they've got some work to do. I don't know if they can bridge that gap or not, and I don't know how much time it'll take. But whoever picks up on the voice of what they're looking for, I think they're going to land their support. When you talk about inflation today, I mean, how often is it that you go out to dinner and you get that bill and you're like, it's what?
Every day.
Grocery store. And I think this has been going in the grocery store, right, Kelly? And I think it's been going on for the last year. And it's not just, I mean, we live and work in New York, right? You live and work in LA, but it's not just the big cities. It's all over the country. And people have recognized this, and it's a shock to them when they get that bill.
Yeah, well, something that stood out to me from what President Biden was saying is he said, we deserve a significant raise. You deserve a significant raise. And I mean, we're talking about inflation that's driven by Bidenomics, those policies. And so you mentioned that small margin, that Trump won in 2016 and Biden won in Michigan in the most recent election in 2020. And so it makes me think, okay, this is really all going to come down to the independents. Right? Only 36% of independents approve of President Biden's performance right now, based on that recent NBC News poll. So what do you think that independents are going to be looking for when they listen to that debate tomorrow? We had someone on yesterday who said unity. What do you think they're looking for?
I think the economy is issue number one for all Americans. I stand to that board for every election year. You need to go?
We got Biden took the megaphone again. Let's listen.
Built the middle class. That's a fact. So let's keep going. You deserve what you've earned, and you've earned a hell of a lot more than you're getting paid now. Thank you very much.